Hello, and welcome to this episode of Halcyon Blink. I believe in America. If ever there was a first line in a film series that has carried so much meaning, consequence and foreshadowing for the rest of its installments, I've certainly never heard of it. The 1972 Ford Coppola film The Godfather is one of the few films that I consider to be about perfect, but it is an acquired taste, so bear that in mind for the rest of this review. The opening scene in of itself, this opening 7-minute salvo into what will later be a 3-hour film that is then 10 hours over 3 films, is a visual, audio and thematic delight. It's a masterclass in how to frame a scene, how to script a scene, how to act a scene, and how to just present a scene to its audience for maximum effect in terms of conveying its story, its theme, its characters, and the purpose of the film going forward.
Buonasera. Buonasera. What have I ever done to make you treat me so disrespectfully? If you'd come to me in friendship, then the scum that ruined your daughter would be suffering this very day. And if by chance an honest man like yourself should make enemies, then he would become my enemies. And then they would fear you.
And that's before you even get to the individual acting talents of someone, a stellar cast led by the iconic Marlon Brando in the eponymous role of Don Vito Corleone and his, or as he's more respectfully known as, the Don or the Godfather.
You look terrible. I want you to eat. I want you to rest well, and a month from now, this Hollywood big shot's gonna give you what you want.
Too late. They start shooting in a week.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
I mean, just to touch on Marlon Brando's performance in a bit more detail, his innovation, his cadence of a character that on the face of it is reprehensible and vile, but due to the framework of the era and the portrayal of the character as the most righteous and respectable of an otherwise ruthless and malicious world, seemingly portrays him and his family as the heroes of the film.
But I'm a superstitious man. And if some unlucky accident should befall him, if he should get shot in the head by a police officer, or if he should hang himself in his jail cell, or if he's struck by a bolt of lightning, then I'm going to blame some of the people in this room. And that I do not forgive.
And again, this is the reason why I had this film in so high regard is for the next reason that other people might not like. The film itself is in essence told in chapters that stretch across years to tell a fully fleshed out story of the Corleone family. And the changes in tone throughout, firstly being a story about the family, their standing in the crime world, then moving to the changing world of crime, and the family face a struggle in trying to maintain and consolidate their power. And then finally, the last act, the transition of power from Marlon Brando's character to that of Al Pacino's character, who is a seemingly good-hearted, morally driven individual who's forsaken those aspects for his family to take up the mantle of the head of crime of the city.
Just lie here, Bob. I'll take care of you now. I'm with you now. I'm with you.
A few moments later.
Only don't tell me you're innocent. Because it insults my intelligence. It makes me very angry.
12 seconds later.
The violence and its depiction of the culture in which these characters occupy was incredibly graphic for its time. However, with age, it does start to look dated when it comes to how visceral it looks compared to later gangster films made by someone like Scorsese, for instance. I mean, one scene in particular sticks out in my mind with Sonny Corleone, a transitional don between Vito and Michael Corleone due to events in the story, is goaded into an assassination attempt, and in doing so is caught in the crossfire of maybe 6 or 7 gunmen, being riddled with bullets in an assassination attempt. However, the reason it sticks out in my mind is it goes on for maybe 15 or 20 seconds with him being constantly shot, definitely deadly buys, only for one of the gunmen to decide it's pertinent and necessary to go and kick him in the face for good measure. Logic, I guess. Now, I get that he's doing it to disrespect him or whatever the case may be, but there's no one else around. So what point does that serve to emphasize to other characters in the story? And like I said, he's definitely dead. Kicking him in the face at the moment isn't going to be the thing that finishes him off. It just made no sense to me at the time, and it just seemed over the top for the sake of being over the top. However, coming back to what I think makes the film great, the soundtrack. The soundtrack is beautifully composed, and the film is shot perfectly. Considering the technology at the time, 1972, you didn't have computer graphics and all the rest of this crazy crap. It was shot perfectly, with the use of framing characters all in the same shot at times to ensure that all the minor interactions are captured. It's just a sublime idea. All the mini interactions, the hand gestures, the facial, the interactions of the character in this very social circle of theirs is perfectly encapsulated in the way that the film is shot. But again, if I'm going to criticize the film for another audience that isn't me, the film is very, very long. So if you're interested in seeing one of, if not the greatest and most iconic film of the 1970s, and indeed the definitive film of American crime in my opinion, best be ready for a stretch, as it does go on for quite a while and leaves the viewer with a mixed bag of emotions as the cycle continues, with Michael being addressed as a godfather at the end of the film, with the door ominously closing on on Kate, his love interest.
That Corleone.
But it's an excellent film. It's an excellent film, and one everyone should definitely see if one is going to experience what it's like to display the kind of film that others inspire to, and the others aspire to emulate in terms of creating something truly memorable and executed almost flawlessly. And again, I'm doling out these high ratings at the moment because I'm in that mood of reviewing things that I like. This is a 10 out of 10 film. Easy. Not going to debate, I'm not going to hear anyone debating me otherwise as far as, oh, this, no, that. It's a 10 out of 10. When you compare it to other films that set out to achieve what they want to achieve, this film achieves what it needed to in terms of perfectly conveying the Mario Puzo book into a film almost flawlessly. It's absolutely amazing, and I'd highly recommend, and this is a unique set of circumstances because this was the most perfect set of circumstances I ever sat down and watched this film under, buying a KFC, getting in some beer, getting a bunch of mates round and sampling some cinematic gangster perfection with them, and just shooting the breeze while watching it, because there are some scenes where you will literally be bantering back and forth about how great it is, other scenes that will completely demand your attention, and they will hold your attention for 5, 10, 15 minutes at a time, with the tension and the acting prowess of the people involved. So thank you very much for watching this episode of Halcyon Blink. Please like, share, subscribe, leave your suggestions for other blinks in the comments section below. Also check out in the description a link to other content creators that I think are worthy of your attention, so I'd appreciate if you go check them out. So thank you very much for watching again, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you guys in the next Halcyon Blink.